Picture this. You pay millions more for a light jet, add a second engine, hire a professional crew, and burn through fuel twice as fast, all to save 10 or 15 minutes in the air. That's the trade a growing number of owner pilots and business executives are refusing to make. Instead, they're choosing the Daher TBM 960. So what does a single-engine turboprop know that the light jet market doesn't? Let's find out. The TBM has always had a reputation as one of the fastest turboprops ever built, and the 960 pushes that further. Powered by the new Pratt & Whitney PT6E 66XT engine, it cruises at up to 330 knots and climbs to 31,000 feet in under 19 minutes. That's only a notch behind many entry-level jets. Here's the part that changes the math. On trips under 1,000 nautical miles, the bulk of regional business travel, that speed gap barely registers in real-world arrival time. What does register is the price tag. A new TBM 960 typically costs several $millions less than a comparable light jet, runs on one engine instead of two, and burns a fraction of the fuel. You're not just buying a slower airplane, you're opting out of an entire category of expense to save minutes you'll rarely notice. Of course, that math only holds up if the mission fits. Twin-engine buyers aren't paying for speed alone. They're often paying for the redundancy and altitude capability a single-engine turboprop can't match on longer, higher, or over water routes. For regional business trips, though, that trade-off rarely comes into play. Most business jets assume you're hiring a crew. The TBM 960 assumes you're flying it yourself. The cockpit runs on Garmin's G3000 avionics suite, backed by the HomeSafe Emergency Autoland system, a meaningful safety net for owner pilots flying without a co-pilot. It seats up to 6 and covers 1,730 nautical miles, enough to connect New York to Miami or Los Angeles to Denver non-stop under normal conditions. That's not a compromise aircraft. That's a serious travel tool wearing a turboprop badge. Step inside, and the economy turboprop assumption falls apart fast. The Prestige cabin has leather seats, electrically dimmable windows, and individual seat heating. The kind of details that usually show up in jet marketing, not propeller-driven aircraft. Add real soundproofing that keeps conversation comfortable at cruise speed, and the cabin experience starts competing directly with light jets costing millions more. Here's where the TBM 960 quietly wins trips before they even start. Most business jets need long, paved runways, which usually means larger, busier airports farther from your actual destination. The TBM 960 operates from runways as short as roughly 2,500 feet, opening up thousands of smaller regional airports that jets simply can't touch. That means landing closer to where you're actually going and skipping the ground transfer time that eats into a jet's speed advantage. Factor in door-to-door time, not just flight time, and the TBM often arrives just as fast, sometimes faster, without ever beating a jet in a straight-line race. This is where the case closes. At Daher's recommended fast cruise setting, the TBM 960 burns around 57 gallons of fuel per hour, dramatically less than a twin-engine light jet. Across hundreds of flight hours a year, that difference compounds into real money, lower fuel costs, a simpler single-engine maintenance program, and a Pratt & Whitney power plant known for reliability. For owners flying frequently, those savings don't just offset the slightly longer flight time. They often fund upgrades, more flying, or simply stay in the bank. The TBM 960 isn't trying to outjet a jet. It's making the case that for most missions, regional trips, smaller airports, owner-flown operations, the extra cost of a light jet buys you very little you'll actually feel, and quite a bit you'll pay for. If your priority is efficient travel rather than the status of jet ownership, the TBM 960 doesn't just compete with light jets. It makes you question whether you needed one in the first place. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe for more deep dives into the aircraft reshaping business aviation. Next up, another aircraft that's rewriting the rules. Thanks for watching Private Aviation Hub.